間違いない。これだ。
What's going on, my friends? Today we're talking about New Saga. This was episode number 9 of New Saga, and a couple of things can be true at the same time. Sometimes you can have a really interesting episode and it can simultaneously be a bit boring. And that's kind of what we had this week, in my personal opinion. Again, you might not share it. Please sound out in the comments below how awesome, how wonderful, how contextual, how much story heavy, whatever your feelings are, let me know in the comments. But for me, although I do think that this episode did move along a lot of the things, right? We found out let me kind of start from the beginning, okay? So we pick up where we left off on last week, which was the dwarf guy, 𝐒𝐻𝐧𝐬𝐿 or whatever. He was kidnapped. They're gonna go search for him, which, you know, definitely did happen. We then found out that 𝐒𝐻𝐧𝐬𝐿 can in fact be easily manipulated by Kyle. So she has some interest there. And for Kyle, in his past life, 𝐒𝐻𝐧𝐬𝐿 was, you know, that was his girl. You know what I mean? That was his like baby mama, basically, without the baby. You know what I mean? Like that was his girl. So he knows how to get through to her. He was able to manipulate her to use her golems to go and find the pathway that he had imagined, where that I think her name was Monica, whatever her name is, start with an M. But she had said in his, you know, past, when he was thinking of her memories or whatever, he had remembered a pathway, so he went to go find out, and he manipulated 𝐒𝐻𝐧𝐬𝐿. That was definitely a cute scene. I did like that quite a bit. Then they go and investigate everything, and contextually, right? When I say contextually, I mean story-wise. Like the things that matter to the story is they find the lair, they find that people are being sacrificed. He puts 2 and 2 together. They find a big magic stone that the demons are, you know, manipulating or creating, everything else. Then they find the governor, and the governor is basically on his deathbed. He's trying to save his town because the ore veins there are being diminished, and he put together a plan with the demons that he'll give them the holy sword, but they need to save his town. That then solidified the holy sword does in fact exist here, and in the past timeline, it does sound like the demon lord did obtain that, so they're potentially stopping something else from happening. They say, hey, you're a big idiot. Demons can't really do anything about this. You're falling for the trap. You know, you're on your deathbed. You're trying to save your town. You're doing way too much. Demons attack. They go on a big monologue. Kyle plays the role really well, which I did enjoy. So let's pause there, right? Up to here, story-wise, the beginning was a little interesting and entertaining, I thought, because of the 𝐒𝐻𝐧𝐬𝐿 stuff. Then we got the, you know, I think they kind of stretched it too long, but story-wise, there's a lot of good stuff that happened here. I do not want to miscommunicate that there was a lot of story stuff that happened. And if I was watching all 12 or all 13 episodes, 12 episodes, if I was watching all 12 episodes at once, I wouldn't really harp on just one episode being boring, but being, you know, story heavy. I only do that because we have to wait a whole other week to see the continuation. And when you do that, you want each episode to be entertaining and fun and story heavy, but also engaging. You want to be at the edge of your seat. And when you don't have that, you do in fact have to call it out. All right, unpause. So, you know, we have all the demon stuff, and we have them begin fighting the demons, and the demon girl, I don't know what her name is, but she has a horn, is definitely not about killing humans, about, you know, mistreating the pack that they have. The other demon is being very demonly, but she's very much like has a good head on her shoulders, wants to complete the mission, but doesn't want to go like above her station. So that kind of tells me that, you know, as the story begins to unfold and unpack more, there could be not link, but a partnership with this lady demon. And it sounds like the current demon lord isn't unwilling to play ball in a way. So, you know, Kyle definitely has to go and figure that out and unpack it. But the way that 𝐼𝐻𝐼𝐿 this episode kind of stated that the demon lord actually has a pretty good head on his shoulders. He's, you know, the current demon lord should be pretty, like, you know, level-headed. And it sounds like something went drastically wrong to happen what happened in Kyle's timeline. So there could be a partnership through this female demon, whatever else is going on, because she's, you know, even Theron could tell, like, oh, as he was fighting, he's like, oh, she's not fighting at full power, she doesn't really want to kill us, you know, so he kind of let the girls fight. Now, the episode was saved by Theron because he was able to kind of go and figure out like, oh, the governor was acting shady here. He picked his pocket. He found the holy sword at the end of the episode, and just that fact alone, because Theron in the last timeline didn't have that weapon. So just that fact alone, he has completely now changed the trajectory even more than Kyle already has of what's going to happen next. So that is really cool. And that's where the episode ended off on, was Theron finding the holy sword, which is going to be crazy because even Kyle and 𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐵 have said that Theron is a much better swordsman than Kyle is. And even though Kyle was the hero, right, he's not just a, one-track mind swordsman. He's multifaceted, so he knows how to use magic, and he is the hero. But as a pure swordsman, he has admitted Theron is much more powerful than I am. He's a much better swordsman. And that was proven in his past life where Theron was holding down like every demon coming to attack so Kyle could go and defeat the demon lord. So like that is going to be a crazy advantage and twist, which I did think saved the episode. So it took it from like the episode started off 7 out of 10. I was like, it's pretty good so far. It continued 7 out of 10. It went down to like a 6 out of 10. I was like, oh, they're monologuing. They're taking a little too long here. And then it went back up to like an 8 out of 10 with the Theron stuff. So I think overall, I would still put this at a 7 out of 10. That's why I said two things could be, true at the same time. But there were a little bit boring moments here that I do definitely want to make sure that I call out. But overall, I think the episode was story heavy, context heavy, and it was interesting. But just kind of the way they did it was, it was okay. But overall, I still liked the episode, so I thought this was pretty good. So I'll leave it at that. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I'll know who didn't make it to this part of the video by your comments, because you'll be like, ah, blah, 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 blah. So that's gonna be really a fun time. I always like reading those comments. I'm like, you stop watching me at like 2 minutes. But regardless, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, your week, your month, your year. I'll see you guys for the last few episodes of New Saga as we wrap up the season on the last 3 episodes. Peace out, my friends.